welcome to another edition of the Pekin First podcast. My name is Josh, and I get the absolute pleasure of serving as the online ministries director right here at Pekin First. And today I have a special guest with me. If you introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Valerie Maley. Do you want to know more about me?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I am a member here at Pekin First, but I'm here today because I am a part of the ROC House leadership team. And today we're here to talk about the ROC House Ministry.
That's right. This is episode 34, and it's called It's Not Just a Home. So we're going to go through the ROC House Ministry and exactly what the ROC House Ministry is founded on and how we came up with, and it is ROC, which is it's an acronym for Reaching Our Community. And we're going to go through that, how that all became to be, and find out what is going on in the ROC House Ministry. But as we do every week, we start with this week's personal best. And Val, I'll go first just to kind of give you an idea what this is. This is something that is good, that has happened in your personal life, or something that has affected you. And mine happened today. So on my way to work today, I won't call myself an angry driver, but I am a very frustrated driver, especially on some days I'm better than others. And today I wasn't a very good patient driver. And I hope my wife's not listening. I hope she skips this part, because I stopped at McDonald's this morning and got me a sausage biscuit, which I'm not supposed to do. And when I do that, the McDonald's up on Western in Peoria, the guy at the window, I always look forward to seeing that guy because he's always happy. And I knew going around, after your order, you go around and you're coming to the second window or the first window or whatever, and the pay window. And I knew as soon as I pulled up to that window, I knew it was going to put me in a better mood. Because that guy is so friendly, and he's so happy to be there, and he's so happy to be doing a job, and he's so happy to have a purpose. And it just made me feel good. It was an awesome feeling as I drove away. And even the lady at the next window, she's Hispanic, and she says, hola, and she hands me my bag or whatever. So it just puts me in a better mood. So that is my this week's personal best for me.
Nice. Something that made you happy.
Absolutely.
Yes. Mine made me happy too. So my birthday was in the past week. Actually, my birthday's July 4th. So I have I have a really big birthday. There is a big party. And next year it's going to be even bigger.
That's
right? I have a particular child who is the best gift giver in the whole world. He just is. If I need a gift idea, I call him, and he throws something, and it's always good. It's always right. It's always perfect. He doesn't always get me things for my birthday. I don't expect my kids to do that, right?
Correct.
But I just went on a trip, and I have this really nice little portable Bose speaker that I always keep in my kitchen, and whenever my son's home, he always connects to it and kicks me off and plays his music, and it's kind of this fun little battle we have, and it's a delightful speaker. I take it with me on my trip, and I left it behind.
Oh, no.
And, of course, I'm lamenting this to my son, and his heart is just broken because he knows when he comes home, I'm not going to have the Bose speaker, right? So, of course, what arrives?
The Bose speaker.
As a birthday gift, my son buys me a replacement Bose speaker. Now, I don't know if that's one of those gifts that's for, like, me or for him, right? But it just has so many levels of happiness in it for me.
Absolutely, yeah. Now he's going to come home and kick you off the speaker, right?
That's right. Now he has to come home.
And unlike when they were younger, you're happy to see them come home. Not that you weren't when they were little, but you're happier to see them come home because it doesn't happen as often, right?
That's right.
That's right. I'm experiencing that, having my kids kind of spread out because they're getting older and moving on and doing things, and I'm learning that at this stage in my life, that it's nice to have everybody in the same house.
Yeah.
So
well, home is important.
Home is important. Speaking of home, nice segue right there. This is episode 34 again, and it's called It's Not Just a Home. This week we'll talk about the ROC House Ministry and how this ministry changes lives. So we're going to go back to the beginning, and we're going to dig into the true roots of the why. As Gina loves to say, and I quote her on this often, she's always, when there's a ministry idea or even a podcast idea, she's like, what's the why? Why are we doing this? And she's really good at it. So we're going to explore all the components of the ROC House Ministry, along with, we'll get to some current projects that are going on and some big community projects that are going on. So let's start back at the beginning. Let's start with reaching our community. So reaching our community actually started with a kids ministry, correct?
Well, actually, no, started before that.
Okay.
It started as we visioned over a really nice gift to the church. And as we visioned over that, one of the ideas that came out is we needed to really invest in reaching our community. And there were lots of ideas out there as to how that might happen. We actually held a ROC Moms Day, where moms came to the church and we offered lots of different things. We had other ideas, but the biggest thing that came out of it was our ROC Kids Ministry, which is a ministry with the children and families who live at the Pekin Housing Authority. And that has been going on for over 10 years now. But as we've done other things, we've tried to capitalize on this idea of reaching our community and using that to help not only our church, but the community see how the church lives outside of its walls.
Absolutely. And it's honestly, I know the ROC Kids Ministry has brought a lot of adults that I know of, Emmy being one of them, Miss Emmy being one of them, have brought them back to being centered around God and just bringing them back into the ministry, back into the church, and back into worship even. I know a lot of people that's done too.
Well, what's interesting about being in a ministry, especially ministry that's service ministry, is that it's transformative. And it's transformative not only for the people who are the recipients, so to speak, the benefactors, but it's also transformative for the people who participate. And so ROC Kids has been extremely transformative, not only for the children and the families, but also for the volunteers and those who give of their time in that ministry.
And this ministry, so as we transition into the ROC House part of it, will push you outside of your comfort zone, which a lot of us have experienced this past year. A lot of us in the church and in the people who have volunteered, we kind of got pushed out of our comfort zone a little bit. I ended up on a roof, which I am deathly afraid of heights, but I ended up on a roof, sheeting a roof. So let's get to the ROC House part of this. What started the ROC House part of it?
Sure. So let's go back another step, okay, to the why, because I really want to start with what we're called to be and do in not only as Christians, but in the church, as organized Christians, so to speak, but also as individual Christians. And one of my favorite stories comes from Matthew 25. And I just want to read it to you because it's such an impactful statement, and I want to I want to go through it. I want to explain to you why I think it's so important and then how it impacts this ministry. So Jesus says, when the Son of Man, I'm reading this, by the way. I do not have this memorized. Okay. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, then he will sit on the throne of his glory. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate people one from another as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. And he'll put the sheep on his right hand and the goats at his left. Then the king will say to those at his right hand, "Come, you that are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world." And here's the important part. "For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you took care of me. I was in prison, and you visited me." Then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when was it that we saw you hungry and gave you food, or thirsty and gave you something to drink? And when was it that we saw you a stranger and welcomed you, or naked and gave you clothing? And when was it that we saw you sick or in prison and visited you?" And the king will answer them, "Truly I tell you, Just as you did it to one of the least of these who are members of my family, you did it to me. And this informs so much of what we do within the church and as individual Christians, because what's important to see here is that all of us are created in the image of God. Mm-hmm. So all of us are image bearers of God. And when we do anything, when we interact with any person, we are interacting with an image bearer of God. And thus, Jesus is impacted and receives the gift, right? And so this is huge because that's everyone, not those who deserve it, not those we like, not those who look like me or think like me or have the same priorities as me or political convictions or religious convictions or anything else as me, but everyone.
Everyone, right?
Everyone. And it's such an important verse because we often see a they out there, okay? And there is no they. It is us.
Right.
It is us. And that is one of the foundational pieces of this ministry and why we serve, okay? So when we got started, the ministry started because a person in our church had a vision, and they had a home. And as they saw it, their home had loved them, and it wasn't done loving families, right? And they wanted this home to continue to love other families and to do it through the church. And what we've discovered, of course, is that there is an enormous need for a housing ministry, right? That's the next piece.
Absolutely. Especially in this day and age when unhoused or homeless or however you want to refer to the people that don't have somewhere to go, right? There's so many that are just people who are trying to get back up on their feet and just move forward.
Housing insecurity. And when we started this, I mean, the world has changed a lot just in the 4 years that we've been doing this. Right? I mean, enormously so. But when we first started this, we weren't actually thinking in terms of homelessness. We were thinking in terms of housing insecurity, in terms of people that were maybe transitioning in parts of their lives. They wanted to move from subsidized housing to, being on their own feet. Maybe it was somebody who was coming out of a rehabilitation program. They didn't have a credit history. They didn't have a work history. They needed somebody who would give them a chance in housing when typical landlords wouldn't do that. And we didn't have a prototype of someone who would qualify, but we understood that there was a deep sense of housing insecurity for people that were in transitional phases of their life. And that was our original thought in terms of who we would end up reaching with this ministry. And while we talk about people in transition, the ministry is actually not about transitioning people, but it's about transformation, which is bigger.
Right. And so as everybody knows, I manage a lot of property, and it is a problem because unfortunately, when we're looking at applications and stuff like that, we have to assess risk and a financial risk. It's because we don't have time like this ministry does to walk alongside them and I was just talking with Debbie earlier about something totally different, but it applies to this. It's all education, right? It's educating, and as a normal property manager, we have a lot of tenants. We can't stand with them and help them. We help them as much as we can, but we can't. So that it becomes a financial risk for us that the church can walk beside somebody like that and transform them into being able to stand on their own 2 feet. And
Right. And for many people, the transformation is just, their lives, they want their lives to move from one phase to another. But there's this financial impediment of housing that's just not getting them there. And, the for-profit housing market can't provide that service.
Right.
But as a ministry, as we walk alongside people, we find out and we talk to our residents. What is it that's going to get you where it is you want to be? Is there? It could be a financial impediment, and that's often the case. But it could be something a little bit deeper than that. Like, well, if I just had a solution to my childcare problem, I would have a solution to this problem, right? Or if I had the ability to tackle this mental health issue, then maybe that would help. Or I need a breather until I can finish my certification in such and such, right? We don't know what that's going to be for a particular person, but that's part of the idea of this ministry, is that we don't say to the resident, here's what you need to do in order to move along. It is a collaborative effort. We enter into what's called a ministry covenant. And that covenant is developed with us and the resident. And it has a spiritual component. It usually has a financial component. It has a health and wellness component. It may have other components depending upon the resident's need. And we find that the need is great in our community.
yeah, it like I said, I manage a lot of properties, and I've given chances. I've been burnt before, but to watch, I watched a young lady just kind of the same way, and she did it all on her own. Go from what they call Section 8 housing, which was it's called scatter site housing. So she was assisted by Section 8, and she lived in one of our houses. She went from living in I won't call it a bad house, but it wasn't in the best neighborhood. And she went from living in that house, and by the time she left us, she was a nurse. She was going to buy her own house, and she had actually moved with us 3 times into better and better and better houses as her financial situation got better, and she didn't need the assistance anymore. And it's so great just to watch people who grow like that, and to walk alongside them like this ministry does, to watch them grow. Because watching somebody grow is they're just they're fulfilling. It's a fulfilling feeling for that person.
That's right. And their lives, God wants us to be our best selves, and a lot of times it's really hard for us to be our best selves when housing and finances are consuming all of our time and energy. And so as we can help people transform their lives into their best selves, as God made them to be and intended them to be, it's just a wonderful opportunity, not only to serve, but to participate in that. And decent, safe, and sanitary housing is a really big deal.
100%. 100%. We've I've seen some rough stuff. So the house was a gift,
Right.
with this intention in mind, and actually it wasn't. I guess this person didn't have that intention, but wanted to be a part of it, and knew that there was something more.
That's right.
That could be done. So the house was a blessing. How many families have we had there, have been there so far?
Yeah, so our first family was there for approximately 2 years, and that was a wonderful experience for that family, and a real opportunity, I think, for them to grow and to really provide an opportunity for them to move from one situation into another that was much safer and a much better housing situation for that family. We're right now in our second family. It'll be 2 years this fall.
Okay.
And it has, that family has been a blessing to us. I would hope that we've been a blessing to them.
Sure.
We don't know where that's going yet. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if we're, exactly what the next step is. Sure. Sometimes it's hard because you have to understand that families who have the situation of housing insecurity usually have a lot of other stuff going on in their lives. And crises come. And if you are a person with already, other struggles in your life and a crisis comes, it's a lot harder to keep moving forward. I consider myself a very blessed person. A crisis comes, but I don't have 20 other crises at the same time. Or I have the financial, I'm not worried about putting my next meal on the table, which is taking all of my energy away from my crisis, right? And so, but it's just, it's tough. It's tough to live in the situation of financial and housing insecurity. And we work alongside. That's the whole idea. We can't solve people's problems, right? We're not here to solve problems or to fix anything. We're not fixers, right? But we're here as a resource to love, to provide spiritual guidance, to provide other guidance as identified by the family and us as we move along. We started this ministry by looking into a book. I'm just kind of looking at it here so I got the right title. It's called When Helping Hurts. It's by Steve Colbert and Brian Fickert. And it's just a new way of looking at service ministry. And there's a lot of conversation in the book about how when helping hurts, right? Because we're trying to fix things from, quote, our perspective, or we throw money at something that doesn't do anything but make the situation worse, or we're reacting instead of getting out in front. All those kinds of things. There's just all kinds of interesting ideas in that book, and we really use that book to help inform how we structured this and how we looked at our relationship with our families.
Okay, so we have the first house. And so we're looking at a lot next door. Lindsay tells the story. I love his story. He's helping repair this house. This was before the first family moved in. He's helping repair this house for the lady that owned it. And he's looking out the window and he's looking at this place next door and he goes, man, there's got to be something more, right? Just the same as the lady who gave the house. He just there's got to be something more. So we get the first family in the house. At the same time, we're negotiating on the lot next door because we feel that there's something more there.
That's right. Lindsay wasn't the only one, and that's why it was so important. There was more than one person who said, God's telling us there's something more. Like, this is next.
And it was a lot of people just because of the shape that lot was in. Mm-hmm. And so negotiating on the lot, helping the people there that lived in not so good conditions move along. And we purchased the lot, cleaned the lot up, and now we're going to sit on it for a minute, right?
Yeah, well, we thought we would have.
The plan.
Yeah, we thought we would have 3 to 5 years actually as we transitioned the people living there to whatever came next in their lives, and instead we had 4 months.
Right.
And 4 months later, we have this completely vacant, empty lot, and we're like, oh, well, I guess, yeah, let's go forward, God. What do you got planned now for us? Right. And so we started the plan to build a duplex, to expand the ministry to 2 more homes by building a duplex, started the process, did a lot, just all that groundwork that you have to do. And there's a lot of it. Ended up with a set of plans and approval from the city, all those good things. Last spring, we had a great group come in here. Last spring, came in from World Mission Builders. And wow, in 2 weeks, we had that place dried in. That was just crazy.
It was fabulous. So when they got here, they had the foundation in which the Teen Challenge crew helped with get the flooring installed,
Yeah.
so that when these guys showed up, we're ready to put walls up.
Right.
And a roof on, and when I got on the roof and was sheeting a roof, I made sure I got plenty of pictures of that, because nobody where I work, because we do a lot of construction, and roofs are not my thing. I won't do it. I won't lift anything. I mean, I can walk on a roof, but I am not lifting anything on a roof. And here I am. I'm standing in between roof joists and lifting. Yeah.
I have stood on more ladders over there. I hate ladders.
Right.
I have stood on more ladders over there in the last year than I've stood anywhere in the last 5. So I'm with you on that one, but I did not get on the roof, okay? But I did a lot of other stuff, you know? And that just shows that anybody can contribute, because if there's something that I can do, there's something that anybody else can do.
That's right.
So
it's amazing what God can do when you put your foot forward, and you step outside your comfort zone, and it's amazing what God can do.
Yeah.
So we had the World Mission Builders here, and then winter started kind of setting in, and we did work a little bit inside, but it was a little chilly. Worked a little bit inside, but now I have to remember, we've got one side ready for drywall.
Just about. In fact, I think, I'm hoping, I think we got our one of our final inspections today before we can put it up. So we're really hoping that we can start the finish work in on what we call Side A. That's our next goal, is to get Side A, all the finish work done, and then finish some of that other work. We're using mostly volunteers. We've got some tradespeople. Because we have certain work that needs to be licensed work, and as that work gets done, then we can bring our volunteers in to do some of the other work. And we're trying to use a mix. Sometimes it's useful to do volunteers. Sometimes we're better off to go hire the work done. The people got the tools, and we don't want to burn out our volunteers, right? So, but we're getting ready to kind of start that next big push to get some of the finished work done. So.
Gotcha. So if somebody's interested in volunteering, or they want to give to the ministry, you can give to the ministry through our website at peakinfirst.org. If they want to volunteer, how do they contact somebody from the ROC House Ministry?
Sure, absolutely. There's a couple of ways. First of all, those of you who have my number, and there are lots of you who have my number, call me, okay? Believe me, I can get you connected with the right person.
Gotcha.
If you can call the church office and leave your name and number and say, I want to volunteer with the ROC House Ministry. You can do that. You can send an email to info@peakinfirst.org and do the same thing. And if you're a member of the church, now our ROC House Ministry team is Kathy Simpson and Denise Hocker and me, and we can get you set up.
Connected.
We can get you connected. And there is always something to do. You know, Kathy and Denise and I have done a lot of work over there, and nobody would hire us. You know what I mean? We're not going to be on any construction or labor crews. But I tell you what, we have put up soffits, and we have, filled in insulation, and we've worked on taping, and there's just lots of things. Kathy goes over there and cleans up the site. Right? We need people who will just sweep up and clean up after everybody else.
Sure. Yeah. Construction is a messy thing. And half of the construction time, because we flip houses, so half of that construction time is cleanup, right? Or organization or whatever.
Hauling things, carrying things.
Yeah. Just moving stuff because it's in the way. So yeah, anybody can volunteer. Also, this is not just a church project. This is a community project. And why do I say that? Because we're building good community members. We're walking alongside them. These people that are in transition become a part of the Pekin community.
Oh, absolutely.
And they become volunteers in the community. I mean, you do too. We both do a lot of volunteering in the community. I particularly with the chamber, doing Marigold, the 4th of July, there is always volunteers needed. This year in Marigold, we're losing some food vendors because we're short on volunteers in the community. So just it's a good thing to help people in transition because they become great community members, great people of faith. And so if you're in the community and you want to help, you can call the church office, or you can email info@pekinfirst.org. Geraldine can help you there. Or you can email podcast@pekinfirst.org, and I can get you to the right person as well and get you to Val. So this is a great thing going on. If you want to see the site, where is the site located?
It's on the corner of 5th and Amanda.
Okay.
All right?
And
And so if you go down, the easiest way to think about it is you're out North 8th Street, turn left at the car wash. Or right, depending, I guess. Turn. I'm going out. So, okay.
Right.
So turn west at the car wash, and you'll see it. And it's and it is a huge, that's what's really important to understand is that the people that are served, the residents, are not affiliated with our church. I mean, they could be, but there is absolutely no requirement of having an affiliation. In fact, when we first started this, one of our goals was to find community partners to reach out to that would provide us with applicants. So places like Pekin Housing Authority, Salvation Army, Teen Challenge, the Center for Prevention of Abuse, different places that worked with clientele that were dealing with housing insecurity.
Sure.
And so this is why it's so important as a community place.
Yeah.
It is the church that is in ministry, but it is the community that benefits.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So that is just one of the huge things we have going on. So if you're interested in that, again, you can email info@pekinfirst.org. We also have some other cool things going on around here at Pekin First. We have VBS that starts July 28th through the August 1st. Go ahead.
Woohoo. No, I love
yeah.
VBS.
Yeah.
I love VBS.
Yeah.
I'm volunteering again this year.
Awesome. And if you're interested in volunteering for VBS, contact Emmy Teese, or you can email the church office here. But if you have Emmy's email, it's eteese@pekinfirst.org. You can, I always see you down there. You're like a big VBS person every year. I hope none of these little boys are listening. I always tend to get the little boys that are a little hard to handle. How's that? Apparently, they know I can handle the little boys. Yeah, that was probably you at one point, Josh. Absolutely.
You would have been in my group.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
But this year is all about race cars. And from what I understand, there's going to be maybe a surprise or two. So this is all about race cars. I was in the car business for a really long time, so I know a lot about cars. So if you're interested in that, there is a QR code on our website or a link on our website. You can register right there. Don't forget, we have Bible studies every Wednesday and Sunday. Wednesday night at 6 p.m. is a Teams link. You can get that Teams link from the church office. And then Sunday, we have the Deep Dive Bible study. Do you have a Bible study coming up? You just finished one.
No, I have one. I have one on Sunday mornings.
Okay.
I have one on Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock. We're studying a book called To Love as God Loves.
Okay.
And it's really it's deep. I'm telling you, it's deep, but it is a great book, and we are moving slowly through it because there's really a lot to talk about, and it really talks a lot about this idea of everybody being image bearers of God, and us not judging. I mean, everything comes full circle, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. So we have a couple Bible studies, 2 at 9 o'clock on Sunday. We have the Deep Dive Bible study, and then the one Val just mentioned as well. Val, yours happens in the youth room, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then the deep dive happens in the conference room. So come for 8 o'clock service, stay for the 9 o'clock Bible studies, or come at 9 o'clock for the 9 o'clock Bible studies and stay for the 10 o'clock contemporary service. We also have, guess what? We are going to be 200 years old. Pekin First has been doing ministry in Pekin for 200 years. So if you get a chance, you can hop on our website. We've got 2 logos displayed there. And you can vote for one of the logos. And the way you vote is you can give a penny, you can give $10, you can give $100, and it goes towards that logo. Whatever logo has the most money at the end wins. That's going to be the logo. So if you're here at the church, they're set up at the back of the sanctuary, and you can donate there in cash, or you can hop on our website and donate there. We're also collecting donations for Timber Creek Healthcare. This is things like body wash and shampoo. And the one thing that I love is they mention door decorations. Yeah. And I told a story on the Monday update of my grandfather. when he retired from Caterpillar, he had to keep himself moving, so he would build birdhouses, and that's just what he did. And he would just give them away. And so it's, if you like to tinker around and you want to donate some of those tinker around things that you tinker around with and their door decorations, they would love to have that. We're collecting. This is the last weekend for that, and then they're going to distribute the stuff. So all kinds of stuff going on here at Pekin First.
We got one more.
Okay.
We got ROC Kids this weekend.
ROC Kids. So if you've heard the Reaching Our Community and that just speaks to you, kids, and like I said, I know Emmy tells a story about ROC Kids and how it kind of brought her back. Heather Robertson was very involved in that, and that's what deepened her faith. Just so many people. ROC Kids is down at, it happens at the,
I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll give it to you. It's okay. We're at the community room at the Pekin Housing Authority on Broadway, and it'll be this Saturday at noon. Members of the Kiwanis Club participate with that. Also with our church, and Grace is involved. Grace United Methodist Church has some people involved with it. So it's really become a community ministry, which is really exciting. Yeah, so if you're interested, obviously you've got Emmy's contact information. You can just show up, and we will show you how to love kids if you don't already know, but I think you do. So
absolutely, and lunch is served for the kids, and it's a great time. I have volunteered there before. Me and my youngest daughter, actually Emily, have volunteered there before and just done that ministry. It is a lot of fun. I played Legos with some kids. That's what it was. Legos with some kids. So it's a good time. Activities and a message and all those good things down at the Pekin Housing Authority. So that is all I have for this week. Val, you got anything for me?
No, that was good. I'm good.
All right. Remember, the ROC House Ministry is reaching our community. And remember, God put us here to do great things. So let's go do
Great things.
great things.